We're listening to Black Gold from Escape-ism's upcoming album called Charge of the Love Brigade, which will be released in March of this year. You can pre-save it on vinyl through Bandcamp, escapism.bandcamp.com.
Some people call out for love. Yeah, they want somebody to hold. I just hold the steering wheel real tight while the automobile hugs the road. I give it black gold. Black gold.
Ian Svenonius has a long career spanning over 35 years in the world of rock and roll. He started out with his punk band The Nation of Ulysses, formed in 1988. After that band he formed The Makeup.
I am Pentagon.
Other musical projects followed, such as Weird Warlord Chain and The Gang, several books of his own authorship, some films produced by himself, and his current musical project, Escape-ism. Hi Ian, how are you? Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Ian, I read this definition of rock and roll that you wrote.
Rock and roll, the ritual-based subculture founded on subterranean insomnia, radical reinvention of self, political paradox, poetic obfuscation, and sensational spectacle, has no place in the new digital world of corporate conformity and control.
A little while ago I was watching an interview that you did with Henry Rollins on that excellent interview show you had called Soft Focus. He says that when Gene Vincent sang Bebop a-lula, it generated authentic reactions in the audience of real excitement, like hysterical crying, orgasmic impulses, or strong rejection. Real human reactions. And then later in time you have Marilyn Manson appearing on stage crucified upside down on a giant cross of televisions, and simply nothing happens. It's like, yeah, what a crazy guy. What do you feel that drives you to keep playing, to keep recording? Is it nostalgia? The band is called Escape-ism because it's the vehicle you created to try to escape from a world where the things you were passionate about no longer have the strength and charm they had before. I understand that with Escape-ism you are synthesizing rock and roll, reducing it to its minimum expression, preserving its essence. Would it be something like you are keeping a small flame lit so that the fire does not go out, saving it for the future?
That's a good question. Why are we still doing it? Why are we still fighting? We're like those Japanese soldiers on an island in the Pacific. No one told them the war was over. They're still out there, fighting for their emperor. But instead of the emperor, we're fighting for human dignity and rock and roll music. Against us, the enemy is vast. We're not only fighting the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, but also the news media, television, the professional sports leagues, Silicon Valley, the arts, Hollywood, and even language itself. Language has been perverted to be used against us as a kind of weapon of control and confusion. That's why we've utilized this ancient technology. It's called rock and roll music. It's based on nonsense. You mentioned Gene Vincent. He sang Bebop a-lula. It was nonsense. Rock and roll began its life as a protest against language, against literacy, against the repressive organs of control used by the ruling class, and replaced it with a garbled nonsense gobbledygook language that said bebop a-lula, crazy noises. The ruling class identified rock and roll as the enemy from the beginning. They understood it was subverting their ability to control, their ability to educate, as in brainwash. That's why we're doing it. That's why we're still doing it. You mentioned some of our peers, these industry characters who make some unfortunate music. Well, they're not the enemy. They're victims. Victims of a system that's outside of their control. Our real enemy is Silicon Valley, the music industry, the news media, and their rulers. Rock and roll is our only hope.
On the bandstand, guitar in my hand, singing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Climb the charts, girls tear me apart, singing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know who I am. I'm a rock and roll man.
Ian, can you tell me about Escape-ism's silent record?
I sing a song, it goes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, Ian, I was just listening to random music on YouTube the other day, and I found a couple of channels with a lot of full albums that I had never heard before, and the style of the covers seemed to be from another time, like the 60s, the 70s. I played one, and in the description it had the history of the band. It sounded good. Then further down in the description, it said that the channel was from a record label. But a record label that is dedicated to generating all these albums with artificial intelligence. I was listening to a psychedelic rock album in the style of the 60s, where there was not a single fucking guitar recorded with a real guitar. I mean, there was not a single human hand playing any fucking instrument. It was all robot stuff. What do you think about this after having dedicated your life to rock and roll, after having recorded so many records and having played live since you were a teenager?
There is no left. There is no right. It's just us against the robots. If there were a revolutionary movement now, it would be fill Silicon Valley with blood.
It's a nice title for a song.
Any dilettante can master your technique, render you obsolete, but they can't be you. Can they? You are the product. A product that others want to imitate, own, purchase, assimilate, fornicate with. But remember, once someone owns a product, what happens? They don't want it anymore. They toss it aside, its value plummets. Therefore, like your most desired product, you must be elusive. You must seem unattainable. You must be expensive. Surround yourself, align yourself yourself with other unattainable products, but even then you're not safe. You can still be purchased, consumed, thrown away, become passé. After that, you're out. We won't want you anymore.
Ian, I was looking for your film, The Lost Record, on the internet to watch it, and I couldn't find it. Can you tell me a little bit about it, and tell me where I can watch it?
The Lost Record. The Lost Record is not available on the internet. The Lost Record is a sci-fi film. It's a feature-length film. It stars a girl named Pauline. It's based on the Escape-ism record, The Lost Record. It's a story of love, art, fetish, the underground, the overground, rebellion. The soundtrack is available. You can't see the film on the internet because we didn't want to put it on the internet along with everything else. We wanted it to exist somewhere on its own. We think the reason the ruling class is able to control us is because they've devalued our work and our relationships with one another. Therefore, the Lost Record, we're making it purposefully hard to see. But the soundtrack is available. It's called the Lost Record Official Soundtrack Record. And it features Escape-ism. And it has Automatic Band, Emmett Kelly, Henry Rollins, and soundtrack score by Alex Minoff. So I highly recommend it. It's great.
Yes, we're going to close with something from the Lost Record album. The song is called Nothing Personal. Thanks for being with us, Ian.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. On behalf of Escape-ism, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you. It's nothing personal. Yeah, it's nothing personal. Had nothing to do with you. It's nothing personal. Yeah, it's nothing personal. You gotta believe me, it's true. You just happen to be there, that's all. Somebody had to take the fall. I just did what I had to do. It had nothing to do with you. It's nothing personal. Yeah, it's nothing personal. Yeah, you gotta believe. It's nothing personal. Baby, it's nothing personal. Had nothing to do with me.